And morning here at Camp Messitators. So how awesome was the air-conditioned teepee? I had to zip my sleeping bag up because it got too cold. It was great, nice and dry. And Taters is officially really happy we came here. Coffee, Danish, and pizza this morning. Since this was one of our rare town stops and we had such a nice setup, we did take an extra slow morning, drinking coffee, editing videos, and thinking, gee, we really should have gotten going by now. In addition to all the cats roaming around, River Angel Chris also had a yellow belly slider turtle in an aquarium, which Taters was, of course, just captivated by.
He likes to eat, well, he eats everything around, of course, but like the giant earthworms, like night crawlers, like their spaghetti, you suck them down.
Oh, wow.
And we're even getting to play tourist wherever we are. This is the furthest we've been away from the river in the 40 days since we started this. Taters the tourist. And we are back. Now we just have to get down the hill again. But it's okay, because Taters does love her portaging. We commented multiple times how odd it was being off the river, just because for the last 40 days, Jen has run up and gone into town a couple of times. I've only gotten away from the boat when we were at those Airbnbs. In addition to the awesome teepee, Chris let us do laundry and get showers, so we kind of got our full reset that we normally look for at a hotel. We were also able to recharge the partially discharged batteries, so we should be good for a nice big long stretch. Today is going to be a little bit messy. We have some other friends we're going to meet along the way. We're actually going to do a resupply there because there's a Walmart, and there are certain things like fuel canisters that are easier to get at Walmart. And from there, we are going to start flying. Tomorrow is going to be a big mileage day, right, Jen? So you might notice we have 2 jugs of the Stoke Cold Brew now. One of them is electrolytes, one is cold brew. I usually just grab one and start chugging and live with the consequences. And we are back on the Smoky River. We have a meetup in about 19 miles. We are still working on how to do estimates, but based on our playing around yesterday, the river is basically moving along at about 3 miles an hour. So if we're paddling, we were able to make it up to 6 while I was watching. That does require a lot of work, and we haven't been feeling super enthusiastic lately, but it's the heat and the humidity. But that does put us in a much better thing. We might actually be able to catch up with our original estimates now. We actually have a headwind this morning because somebody back there had to be tempting the river gods yesterday, going, ha ha ha, we're immune to headwinds, you can do nothing to us.
Which was only slightly annoying, and we still did 6 miles an hour.
I am more annoyed, but I only had 2 cups of coffee this morning, so ugh. But yeah, it does seem like our new norm is in the 5 to 6 mile an hour range, which is awesome because that puts, you know, much bigger days in range. Things have been getting a lot more interesting out here with currents and eddies and things.
We were just talking about we weren't quite sure what to expect on the river south of St. Louis. We had all the upper Mississippi folks telling us that, you know, their part of the river was the nice part and it was just going to be horrible after St. Louis. And we'd heard from a couple other people that did it that described this as, you know, this is the industrial part of the river that's not really a recreational river past St. Louis. And so far, there's definitely signs of industry. We have the parked barges, we have some kind of a big mining plant or something up ahead, we got train tracks, but it's still very scenic. We've got the very pretty cliffs, and it's still a very pretty river overall. We are seeing less animals today, but mostly that's because we're not getting close to the shore. There's a ton of these wing dams, and now that we actually have significant current, those wing dams are creating a lot of eddies that are kind of annoying to be in, so we've been staying further out in the main channel. And sadly, that keeps us from seeing all the cute little turtles and raccoons and such, which I'm sure are still over there.
So we are still seeing lots of sandbars. That would be almost ideal camping for our use, other than there is an industrial plant across the way, which wouldn't be the end of the world anyway. The one thing we're probably going to have to watch is making sure we have an area outside of the main current to swim. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to go in and go, Blondie, look at me, and be like swept away in the dark. We're going to take a chance and see if we can sail down this back channel. Hardly seems worth it with how quiet the main channel is and how good a progress we're making, but we're kind of curious. We're still learning how the current works out here.
And maybe this way we can see more animals.
I actually think this would be almost perfect camping. Look at that.
And the thing that always makes Matt very, very happy out here, a sail-worthy tailwind plus lower Mississippi current, also known as Missouri current. How fast are we going, Matt?
5.5. Okay, and there's supposed to be a beach here, and this should be where our friends are going to meet us. And we think this is us. And we are pulling the boat out, waiting for our friends. Jen's gonna have to get a ride to Walmart, so I'm gonna have to wait for a little while. So we wanna have a shady spot to leave me. And it looks like severe thunderstorm warnings are incoming. Jen, you're throwing the white balance off. The color of your hat is throwing our white balance. Why are you glowing orange? Ooh.
I don't think the video is going to actually capture how bright
No, look, you can see your face is glowing. Jay and Sabrina had been following our videos for a while, and so we were kind of excited that we were close enough that they could actually river angel for us. Jay actually took Jen into town to Walmart to resupply while I stayed with Sabrina, only to have this happen. Oh. We just hit wind so bad that the boat went flying and all the stuff. Well, hell, Jen and one of our friends is out resupplying. Might be hard for him to get back at this rate. The wind came pretty much out of nowhere, and that big branch you seen behind Sabrina, that actually came down and hit her head and shoulder. She was okay, but kind of banged up a bit. Meanwhile, the boat flipped multiple times, gear was blown everywhere. I had to dig in the bushes for the paddle, lost my phone briefly. It was a whole thing. See, it hit us like this before, but we were hiding inside of a car, so it worked out. They usually seem to come as distinct thunder cells, so maybe it'll pass.
Yeah, it will.
That one bolt was right over there. So as it turned out, tornado sirens were actually going off in town and the entire area lost power. We found this out as locals started to filter in to take a look at what was going on in the river. So that's the sort of thing that was happening here. So that was all kinds of interesting, and not just because, yes, I have an awesome colored jacket. I picked this out myself, can you tell? So we had something hit so hard, I thought it might have been a tornado, and apparently where Jen and the guy were at Walmart, the sirens actually went off and they stopped letting people out because they were concerned about the extreme weather. Here, everything went flying. The boat actually flipped over at least twice. My phone was missing. I almost lost my hat across the parking lot. My paddle took a while to find. So we think we have everything. We think nothing's broken. I am a little worried about the solar box just because it was in the boat when it tumbled a couple of times. The even sadder thing, though, is the lady who was here, she was sitting next to me on a chair, and a big branch actually came down and bounced off of her. Kind of has a nasty thing here. We're lucky nothing bigger came down, but you just can't trust any of the trees here, I guess. It wasn't like they were even a dead tree. There was also a downstrike 0.6 away. I actually saw it hit on the far side of the river there. So yeah, things got a little crazy once again, and there's another storm coming tonight. So we are going to try and find a secure campsite, whatever is secure. I don't know, considering that those are the branches that came down and they didn't look threatening before. Security might be a little difficult tonight. It also looks like our boat is still holding water. I was briefly concerned because, like I said, it flipped over multiple times. That would have been amazing if that was going our way and then if I had the sail out, if we lived. Also, we found out yet again we're mispronouncing things, and what we've been calling Cairo is Caro. So it is 6:30, it is clear for now. There's another big storm coming in tonight, so our priority is going to be a nice, secure campsite. It is actually really nice out here. The storm blew all the smoke 3 states away. And that's a first. We have a rock barge.
Thanks for always capturing the beautiful sunsets.
And I was just saying, you know, a campsite with a toilet would be decent. I think we can fit that behind your seat. 8:30, and we're gonna go check to see if there's any reasonable camping here. We're a bit torn though, because if you look at the last couple of days, You don't want to be in the trees because the trees are going to fall and try and kill your river angel, but you don't want to be on the sand because the wind's going to come up and kill your tent. And both tents and river angels are a limited resource, so we're not really sure what to do here. What? And I think we have a functional camp. I do normally say, as Jen was pointing out, that you know, it's better to have the vegetation cut my legs instead of my pants because it's cheaper to just have my legs heal than my pants replaced. But that's only damage to me. We don't like damage to other people.
No. Or damage to blondies.
I was gonna say maybe damage to blondies because she has dismemberment insurance. She doesn't read her contract, but you know, I read things. And we're relatively well situated here, assuming the storms don't get too bad. And I am going to go swimming because I feel better if I've cleaned off all the humidity and general grime.
So even in these pools between the wing dams, the water looks a lot calmer. But Matt's still doing a lot of work to not get swept to one side or the other.
Yeah, I'm basically like digging my feet in and still sliding. It's a pretty good power wash. I mean, if I just put my head underwater and open my mouth, it'd probably clean all the ins and outs.
Well, I completely missed the most notable feature of today, which was the... Hey, Matt. There's something weird in the sky. I was gonna home sweet home, but then I got distracted. Anyway, I missed the most notable feature of today, which was the out of the blue, incredibly overwhelming force winds and thunder and lightning and really intense short storm, which I completely missed because I was in Walmart doing our resupply. I'm okay with that. Other than that, highlight was getting to talk to the river angels. Always really nice getting to meet and talk to people out here, and then definitely really helped us the favor that they did getting us set with our resupply. So we did opt for the sandbar tonight, a nice medium-sized sandbar. This way, in case the crazy winds kick up again, we should be in no danger here of trees falling on us. Potential downside is we're not really protected. We're close enough we get maybe a little bit protection if the wind's coming from that one direction. But at the moment it's so nice and calm, it's hard to believe that would happen. Home sweet home for the night.